Hi there, welcome back. You're watching Prime Morning News Flash segment. My name is Razak Musbao, and of course, really a pleasure to be here back and to be doing this for all of you. Really excited about it. Let me just mention I'm in studio currently. We've got two more guests who join us very shortly, but at the moment I'm in studio with Richard Sumah. He is the Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, the new kid on the block, all over the place, and doing their best to contribute to national discourse and also trying to make a case for themselves to take over the helms of this country. Richard, good morning.
Good morning.
And once again, congratulations on your new role.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not about me, but it's about what we can all do collectively to build the kind of Ghana that we all envisage. So it is a collective responsibility of all of us to put all hands on deck to see how best we can move this country from this poverty that has engulfed us into the country of prosperity. So thank you all for coming, and thank the media for being behind us and trying to champion our cause. We appreciate all.
Exciting. We'll love to hear from you in the course of the show. Remember, we have a big conversation here from Kweku Asante on the subject of the LGBT bill that has been introduced in Parliament. Is this the way to go? Do you still support the LGBT plus bill? Do you think this is the most sustainable way of curbing this menace in our society? Well, we'd love to hear from you. So stay interactive, send your messages, let's hear from you. But next to me is this beautiful stuff. King Cracker, Royal King Cracker. Highly, highly recommended. All right? We encourage you not to stay hungry. Do not let hunger strike you. Just get in time with Royal King Cracker because it's always on standby. And when you need something enjoyable to munch on, Royal King Cracker brings the crunch and battery taste. It fits right into your day, morning, noon, or night. Royal King Cracker, you just take chalk your hunger, Charlie. Take chalk your hunger. Early this morning, having an 18, make sure you get yourself some of this sumptuous Royal King Cracker. Hunger, you got, just Charlie, the kids are going to school, let them keep it in their bag, and they will be sorted throughout the day, all right? So let's get into the newspapers and see what's been captured there in the various newspapers at the moment. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper has got President Akufo-Addo there. Yesterday, he met the 5 presidential aspirants for the MPP and calling for unity. So you see that prioritize NPP's unity. Akufo-Addo to aspirants there. And Dr. Bawumia takes decisive lead in polls that has now been released again. And Victory Bible Church, International 40 Years of Global Impact. And Ghana Under Siege, Afenyo Markin warns Mahama. And 24-hour policy faces physical hurdle. That's according to the CPS there. And so those are the stories there. Those are the stories there that have been captured here. And you can see if you open to page 3, you see the president, former President Akufo-Addo, along with the aspirant Kennedy Japan, Brian Champon, Dr. Kwabene Japan, all of them, Dr. Edichum, Engineer Kwabene Japan, and Dr. Edichum, all of them in that picture with the former president at his house. They had breakfast yesterday, and that is on the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. So that is that. But then we go to the Accra Times, and on the front page of the Accra Times, it's got the picture of the brother of the president, Ibrahim Mahama, the business guru, and it's got ENP takes over gold project as full owners. It's captured there, and you've got MD begs for 300 million Ghana cedis from corporate Ghana as Ghana Water Company in crisis. It says, and Bagban, now chairman of Africa IPU, he succeeds South Africa's speaker. And Zambian energy team visits NPA to study petroleum product marking scheme. And MPP MPs demand action on tragic accident on Voto Lake. And JJ salutes NPA boss for being innovative and dynamic. And so those are some of the stories there. And Richard, just the interesting one on the MPP aspirant former presidents calling on them to come and unite. I'm not sure what you make of that. It's been a bit of back and forth between the aspirants, few jabs here and there, but the leaders are trying to get them to stay united because there are fears that post January 31, reconciliation might be difficult. Yeah,
first of all, I'm sure we've started a conversation. So I would like to say a very good morning to the entire production team of Joy Prime this morning, and as well say a good morning to all the people of Ho Central, and to the entire leadership and the sympathizers and those who are showing enormous love for the new baby on the block, which is the United Party. And also to use your platform this morning to congratulate the one done. The one done, Shatta pulled a massive surprise on Ghanaians over the weekend.
Yeah.
And that is quite a striking scene to see. And to understand that we need to appreciate our own. We always need to build that society where when people are doing the best, they've been able to go through the mills, they demonstrate tenacity, they demonstrate something that is able to resonate with the masses. Look at the kind of crowd they pulled. That should send a signal to the leaders that Ghanaian youth are not sleeping. They are watching you. They are carefully taking a critical look at all that you do. For one individual to be able to galvanize such a people to troop to the Independence Square to show love, that shows that is some force to reckon with.
Yeah.
So on this platform, I would like to congratulate the one Don himself and say, look, big up to you, Top Shatta. And we expect that the future is yours to conquer. But use your influence on the youth so that the huge influence you have can be able to transcend into the youth for them to do away with some of the vices and become citizens that are responsible and disciplined. So once again, congratulations to the Top Shatta himself, one Don. It's a large job. The world is yours to conquer. So on that note, the MPP thing, I only want to say that, they've already muddied the waters. They've created that atmosphere of rancor, acrimony, and pull him down syndrome. One is trying to overshadow the other. They're throwing dust at each other.
It's characteristic of political
Yeah,
campaign,
but you see, this is an internal party politics. And already you know that you are fragmented. You have a fragmented front. Since you lost the last election, Alan and Co. exiting from the party, it has caused a huge damage to the party's front. And for you to start on the note of going after each other with all this acrimony that characterize their activity that they've all been embarking on for over the few weeks or months, in fact, it is always said that better late than never. So this thing started, Abronya Echo started. I would have wished that the president not only call the aspirants to order, people like Abronya and people who are on other media platforms who are, throwing jabs everywhere. I would have wished that they should all be whipping line. And for them to understand that, look, you have a party to build. You have a party that is in total disarray, that is absolutely getting into abyss. But they are a formidable force to reckon with. The NPP cannot be written off. They are still the major opposition party in this country. And they believe that they have the opportunity of coming into the next election with the chances of winning it. Just like any other party is looking at preparing and grooming themselves to winning. Obviously, they're also doing so. And I would not wish them anything negative because, you see, I don't believe that NPP has to be destroyed. Because sincerely, in as much as we are competing, they are competitors. But I cannot wish them anything than success. So the president coming on board to try to realign them, to be able to align themselves with the vision of the party and the integrity of the party, which is in total discontent, at least for the moment. If it is something that he intends to do, that will be able to keep everybody in line for the ultimate benefit of the country. Because don't forget, it is the same Ghanaians who constitute these political parties. We make up the parties. Therefore, when the ambience is not good enough, that means we are the ones who are going to be affected. If the aesthetics is not good enough, internationally we will be affected. Now, NDC, MPP, even in their primaries, it is going into becoming chaotic. It is not good for us. So I sincerely believe that
it's good leadership the president is
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That though it has come a bit late, and I don't see the chances of they yielding to the advices.
You think they will not tone down?
I am not completely. I'm not sure because you see, some of them is about nature and nurture. So what a characteristic they are exhibiting is within them. So you advising them for a moment, they will take it. But the moment they live there, anything that triggers their true characters.
It is who they are.
It is who they are. So anything again that comes up, it will emanate. So I don't really see that there's going to be complete sanity in their contest leading up to the 31st January. I sincerely believe that
let's take
there
a look
will still be a couple of things that
will come
emerging.
Up. The Ghanaian Times newspaper has got the president. Ghanaian Times newspaper has got the president. He is in the Western region, and apparently he's been engaged in quite a number of activities, Fia Kwanta Regional Hospital, he said he's going to complete it. He's going to ensure that it's completed. He also, cut grounds for the work on the Takrady Cape Coast Road dualization project. So he's been busy in the Western region, quite a number of projects he's been, overseeing in the Western region. And of course, we saw excerpts of that in our news. But they've also got integrated 24-hour economy policy into NDPC, the National Development Planning Commission framework. That's according to Dr. Sarkodie. And Speaker swears in new Akwatia and Tamale Central MPs. And on page 3, a chief and 3 others have been killed in gun attack at Garu. And of course, we've been following that story recently, and the police have indicated that they are working to find the perpetrators of this crime, and hopefully we'll get more for you. And you've also got OSP refute claims of frustrating Ken Ofori-Attah's extradition, and again, you've got 5 arrested over murder of John Aban. Interesting. So those are some of the stories on the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Let me just also mention that Meto Nune has joined us now. He is with the NDC, and Jonas Meto, good to have you. It's been a while. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning as well.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope all is well.
All is well by the grace of God.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
So far, it's been excellent in the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, you can see from the way things are going, the research agenda is on. And also, I'd like to say good morning to our church viewers and a very good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I'm in pink. This month, what it stands for?
Breast Cancer Awareness
the Pink Month. At Bost Energies, we are really commemorating the Pink Month, not just by words, but by deeds as well. So this month, we've screened everybody. We are saying that everybody, even the men, should be involved in it. So we screen men as well. And our slogan is spot it, stop it, and then survive it. So we've screened men, we've had education, we've had health walks, we've done aerobics and all that. So we'll climax it with a dinner and education again as well. So I'm in pink, we're recognizing it, led by our Managing Director, Afechi Awuno. We are not just securing Ghana's energy future, we are also making sure that the most important capital for the organization, that is the human beings, are healthy and are able to work to realize our vision.
Interesting, really interesting. Well, I've got the Inside newspaper here. It's like Igniting African Liberation Struggle. The PPF, the Pan-African Congress, marks 80 years of Manchester Declaration, renews call for sovereignty, and MPA intensifies LPG safety campaign in varsities and other tertiary institutions. And Minister warns head teachers against turning away students and charging unapproved fees. And ex-UK Prime Minister profited from Ukraine conflict, claims EU states leaders. All of that is on the front page of the Inside newspaper. And finally, the Daily Gist has 7 names dropped for MPP General Secretary position. Justin Kodia Frimpong is in there. Ursula Owusu Ekuful is in there. Sylvester Tete is in there. Eugene Boachi Enchi is there. Charles Dramana is in there. Henry Kwabena Kokofu is in there. And even Samuel Atachia's name has also popped up. Metal, really interesting, isn't it? Really interesting.
Very interesting. But then I wish them well. When you look at the makeup of the NDC right now from our national leadership, you look from our national chairman to the general secretary, youth organizer, They are formidable and strong people. They are people who have led the NDC into the victory that we chalked in 2024. You look at the current MPP leadership, they've not been able to manage the party well. They've mismanaged the party so much that they had a breakaway, like the Movement for Change, who have now metamorphosized into the UP. You get it? So it is just normal that you see lots of people aspiring for the position of especially the general secretary. But interesting names I see there, Atachia and Ursula.
Yeah, for Ursula, she declared her interest on her official pages on social media. She wrote a long letter explaining why she's running. In fact, we heard that she was going to run for vice chairman, but she came to clarify that, well, she's interested in general secretary position. And I don't like, you make the point, it gives us an idea that, yes, there are a lot of people who are feeling that the leadership of the party, maybe there are questions about the leadership. Because to have an interim general secretary like Justin Kodia, having at least six other people wanting to oust him, it raises a lot of questions about his leadership.
But replacing Justin Kodia with somebody like Ursula is from frying pan to fire. Unless, of course, she has changed some of her ways.
But she says she has the character to withstand the fiery of the NDC.
You see, being a general secretary is not only about Buga Buga. If you look at Fifi Kwete in his days as then propaganda secretary, and you look at Fifi Kwete
as general secretary,
you see that is different. So if she's coming into that room with a Buga Buga style that she knows, it will be from frying pan to fire, moving from Justin Kodia to Ursula Owusu. They are going to mess the country up more. Because we are dealing with a political party, are dealing with people. The issue that happened with the breakaway from the movement of change, breaking away from the MPP, it was something that could have been handled with cool heads. It was something that if they had been fair in the process, they wouldn't have experienced that. But because everything...
But it's not new, is it? It's not new.
That's what I'm saying, that the MPP, looking at the list there, the MPP is not serious to win power in 2020.
Really?
The MPP is not serious to hold the NDC.
If you look at it closely, and Richard, maybe you can come in on this one. I'm counting at least about 3 former MPs from the past parliament who want to enter into national executive position. Atacha was in the former parliament. Eugene Bachi Inchi was in the former parliament, former member of parliament for Subin, former member of parliament for Botiano, English Botiano area, and of course Esle Usu. These are all former members of parliament. Even Henry Kwabena Kukufu himself was a former member of parliament and former EPA boss. And I believe EPA boss, and Charles Jabena, not too familiar with his position, but former members of parliament looking to go and lead the party at the national executive position. That's interesting.
Yes, and sincerely, to buttress what my brother just said, there's no smoke without fire. And obviously, the reasons for which Alan Chiramante, the likes of him, left the MPP, I have always stood my ground that I am not a member of the New Patriotic Party. I never broke away from the New Patriotic Party. I'm a Ghanaian. I've been observing the political space over the several years because we are all elders. We have all grown. We are hitting almost 50, so we are around. We've been watching the political space. But eventually we decided to, look, we can't sit back and be spectators. You have to get involved and to contribute to the absolute development of this country. So with all this category of people parading themselves and preparing to become general secretaries of the party, that should tell you that the party is actually on a clay feet. The party as it stands now is standing on a clay feet. It's fragmented, okay? It's in complete disarray. And if care is not taken, they will worsen their situation much more further. Because for the reasons why Alan and co left the party, those same reasons and those same things are still happening within the party architecture.
What kind of things? Such as what?
Well, such as the bureaucracy, the favoritism, the selections, and, you know, a whole lot has been happening.
But now, at least, one of the things
the machinations, the manipulations, the pick and choose, people who have contributed significantly for the success of the party, they've been sidelined. People who just came in, who never did so much, are being now touted as the future of the party, or they are the ones who hold the party. But don't, look, every political party started from somewhere. People build it. So when people build it and it gets to a stage, don't create the impression that they don't matter. Some of the people today who are in the NPP, who are gallivanting around, making all the noise and crying around, they are babies. They are babies. Since when did they come into the political space?
But isn't that what sometimes destroys political parties? This impression that because somebody came in new, he has to wait and lie until he gets his turn. It should be an open field. Everybody should be able to.
It's an open field, but it's an open field. That is why even in your house they have abusuapenyi. Don't we have abusuapenyi?
Yeah, that's a family.
Yes, NPP is a family. Every political organization is a family. So if you have abusuapenyi, do you think that you have the elders in the family and then they come and make me abusuapenyi?
But there is no election in families. There is election in political parties.
Too, there is consensus.
The people choose who want to be their leader.
In family too, there is consensus.
No, but in family sometimes we know that, look, when this one is not there, this one will say there's a certain line of hierarchy. That is why I'm saying that in political parties across the globe, there is always that tendency for succession. There's always that tendency.
Even the national elections, what qualifies you to contest as assemblyman or a member of parliament is that the requirement is that you should have stayed within that locality, for assemblyman, within the electoral area for some number of years, for a member of parliament for some number of years. You cannot come and put yourself up for elections whilst you don't understand the people that you want to be elected for. You can't come to a political party, we'll welcome you, all right. But then you need to come and follow the system and then understand. So at least you should be in the party for about 4 years before you can put yourself up.
So for instance, Dr. Bawumia, respectfully, without prejudice, I'm not talking about him, but then he coming into the party to become the running mate of Nana Akufo-Addo. Do you know the party has to step aside? They have to put their constitution aside to welcome him into the party to become a running mate, because the party's constitution then states that before you can be a running mate of the party's candidate, you should be of a 5-year standing in the party, a card-bearing member. But they stepped it aside and brought in somebody. Now that person has come in, then all of a sudden there's all manner of charade, all manner of glamour and glitz around that individual to suggest that he's the creme de la creme, the primus inter pares among the party. Do you think others will be satisfied?
No.
Do you really think others will be satisfied?
But I mean, if you, of course, you're making reference to the fact that he became the flag bearer of the party, and some people were not happy that why did he become the choice of the party? I mean, since 2008 to now, you counted, it's been 50 years of his life that he spent in the party.
But the sins of Abraham, I said the sins of Adam and co, are we still not paying the price for it?
Well, what's the point?
So the point I'm saying that what you did 15 years ago will come back to haunt you 20 years down the line.
So you think that's what the MPP are suffering now?
There are still grievances within the party. Okay, some may decide to stay to fight the system to recorrect it. But you see, that's why when if you go to even marry your wife, didn't we take the vow that for better for worse we are going to stick together to death do us apart? But why are we divorcing our wives and our husbands? Because there is something fundamental about what we have all engaged ourselves in that is not appealing to both sides of the divide. So the best way to do that, we part ways.
But are some of these concerns, and we need to move into our main subject because MPP seem to be taking it. But is this not, and Metal, you have experienced it as a political party, are some of these things not the usuals when a party loses power? Then all of these things suddenly, come up here and there, suddenly come up, and all of these things. And now, when a party is in opposition, it is in its worst state, if you want to call it, and all these issues come up, and people find all kind of reasons why they find themselves in that situation.
You see, looking at the historical journey of the NDC, you remember when Professor Mills was nominated or appointed to become vice president of J.J. Rawlings.
Yeah.
At the time, Professor Mills was a lecturer, he was a tax expert and all that. He was brought in at the time. You look at what happened in the 2000 election in the NDC, where some people claim that it should have been a fair election. Professor Mills was just brought in, but Rawlings was supporting him to lead the party. We had breakaways, Kusitano, Sumah, and co. We in the NDC have gone through that process and we have learned. So I was thinking that the MPP, who have seen the historical journey that the NDC had gone through, wouldn't have gone on that same path. There's no problem in bringing in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to become vice president, stepping aside the party's constitution. But then the election that led to the breakaway was because they treated the other candidates unfairly. You saw candidates like Kennedy Japan complaining, you saw candidates like Alan Kojo-Chumati complaining, and then even the others. It looked like the whole system was coached to make sure that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia becomes the flag bearer. The then exiting president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was also supported, the establishments and everything. And then the violence and the complaints and the things that was not addressed by the general secretary. He did not have the guts to be able to stand firm and make sure that justice and fairness was done in that election. That led to these things. So they should have learned from what happened to us. And we have learned. That is why in subsequent elections that NDC is going to go through, both internal for party executives and the national level flag bearership, we are going to make it open and then we are going to make it very fair and transparent. Whoever wins, the party supports the person.
Well, interesting. So that's just preliminary comments on some of the stories that have been captured in the various newspapers, and of course, we're going to continue. And so, very thank you also to Franco Trading Enterprise. They're supporting us on the show today. Phone, every device you want, tablet, laptop, mobile phone, go to Franco Trading Enterprise. They've got offices in and around the country. You can also find them on Facebook, all these social media handles. You can find them and get some devices for yourself. It's a perfect time for you to drop something for somebody, all right? So big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, Parliament resumed yesterday, and I mentioned we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you. So make sure you send us your messages and let the comment come to you on Facebook. Share the link and be part of the conversation. Now, Parliament resumed sitting yesterday, and the majority leader and the minority leader all made their presentations on the floor of Parliament. The majority leaders gave us an idea of some of the businesses that the government will be engaged in. Among many, we got to know that the LGBT plus bill has been reintroduced. Parliament is going to look at it. We also know for a fact that the law on to repeal mining and forest reserves is also going to be introduced to the House. The sports bill is also going to be introduced to the House. And we know that sometime next month, this budget is also going to be read. So Parliament is extremely going to be busy. But one of the things also that we heard from the Speaker of Parliament is that he's telling Ghanaians to get ready for the construction of a new chamber of Parliament. This very subject has come up before when Speaker Michael Quay was there, and now it came up even, I'm sure, even during Abang Bagwin's time, and now he has come up. And the Speaker is telling us we should get ready for the construction of a new Parliament House. I'm going to get the thoughts because I honestly don't think, the chairs in the House have been changed. Of course, you noticed it. Quite a number of renovations are constantly taking place in the House, but they are looking for a completely new Parliament House to be built. As for the reason behind it, I'm sure Parliament can explain, but as to whether that should be the priority at this point, whether that should be the focus, is a question that maybe my guest can address briefly. But I want us to just recap on what happened on the first day of Parliament. So guys, if the Kwaku Asante report is ready, we can recap with that report and abreast ourselves of what happened when Parliament resumed yesterday. And then if the Parliament reports is available, let's look at what happened in Parliament yesterday.
It's been nearly 3 months of this House on recess. Members of Parliament are back to do the public's business. But before then, 2 new of their colleagues joined them. Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, a member for Akutia, all of them took their oath after their predecessors tragically lost their lives.
I, Seydou Mahama Halidi Akunpeju, do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
It came the time for both leaders to make some opening remarks in terms of the return of the House. We heard from Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who first drew sword on the economy, and then Galamsey.
On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority, are of the view that this represents one of Ghana's gravest governance challenges that has persisted across successive governments and which has escalated into a full-blown national crisis is the menace of illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. The devastation caused by Galamsey to our environment, Ghanaians remain concerned about the economy. While recent indicators show modest macroeconomic gains, these are yet to bring real relief to the ordinary citizen. The truth is, stabilization means little if the youth remain unemployed and families still struggle with the cost of living. The mass dismissals across key state institutions represent a direct assault on the integrity of public service.
He got a response from the majority leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, I am proud to say that so far, so excellent. The energy sector is doing very well, and electricity has remained on and powering growth. So far, so excellent. The economy is rebounding, and Ghana once again is gaining economic respectability globally. So far, so excellent. The Ghana cedi is gaining strength and stabilizing. So far, so excellent. Inflation has come down to single digit, and prices are coming down, and life is becoming affordable to the ordinary Ghanaian. So far, so excellent. Let me at this juncture mention that whilst we were away on recess, the issue of illegal mining, referred to as galamsey, became very topical. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama spoke to the nation in a media interaction and outlined progress made so far for the multiple approaches of government to deal with this matter.
Meanwhile, about 10 MPs are working on reintroducing the new anti-LGBTQ bill back in Parliament. Reverend Ntim Fojo is leading those efforts. He says the bill must be passed.
We will pass this. We would submit it to the president, present it to him for his assent, and he can also, even in the course of the process, whether before it is passed or after it is passed, if he so thinks that he even needs to introduce some more robust legislation to serve the larger purpose of preserving the values of Ghana, preserving the values of society.
Also high on the agenda of Parliament this meeting is the vetting and consideration of Paul Bafoboni to be the next Chief Justice. The Speaker of Parliament read the nomination from the President to the House and made a referral to the Appointments Committee. Both leaders are now making it known that they are going to be spirited fight on this nomination and other key business before Parliament, with the House now expected to go on break at the end of December for Christmas. And this is a big budget meeting with the budget expected to dominate proceedings in the House. Reporting for
Koku Asante, pretty much what happened in Parliament yesterday when it resumed, and really interesting. You touch on galamsey, LGBT+, etc. But as I mentioned, the Speaker again revisited the conversation on the construction of a new Parliament House. You saw the new Parliament, you saw the Parliament. The seats have been changed. It used to be brownish, brownish, yellow, somehow like that. They have not been changed to black. There's no explanation as to why they were changed particularly, but they've been changed. And I'm not too sure what other major changes happened, but the Parliament House itself was renovated, I think, sometime last year. And the Speaker is saying that Ghanaians need to start bracing themselves for a new Parliament House. And I think fundamentally the conversation has to do with space. He's saying the Parliament is becoming too small. It's becoming too small. And sometimes they say when you see the members moving around, somebody is having to say push, then all of that. They are feeling uncomfortable because the place is becoming too small. So they need extra space. Well, we'll get into some of the issues, but let's just touch on this new Parliament House thing. Richard, I don't know. Unity Party, will you support a new Parliament House?
No, obviously not, because you see, as a country, we have several issues that are confronting us. There's poverty everywhere, there's joblessness everywhere, the women and children are struggling, our road infrastructure is not good, water to drink is not good. There are so many, a plethora of issues that are confronting us as a nation. And if our likes of Parliament wants comfort, want luxury, want a place where they can even run there, like do 100 meters in Parliament.
No, of course, that's an exaggeration.
I don't know what exactly they are talking about.
No, but that's an exaggeration. They are not looking for space to run 100 meters.
Yes, so what exactly do they want?
They say it's too small. The numbers are increasing. The numbers are increasing, and we
are no longer, you see, it is not about Babi, it's about the citizens. Babi cannot impose anything on us. He cannot. He cannot say that whether we like it or not, they need for us to construct a new chamber.
So you can have Parliament working effectively and efficiently.
The centralization of government administration has nothing to do with Parliament and their comfort. It has nothing to do with them. Because you see, they've spent so much refurbishing this same Parliament House. And we got our independence from the British. The British, look at the British Parliament, look at the composition of their Parliament, look at the sitting arrangement. It's just a bench. It's just a bench that they sit on. So going to Parliament to do business of the day doesn't require for you to sit in comfort. Doesn't require for you...
Sit sometimes for long. Sometimes, because you make reference to the British Parliament. The British Parliament, you don't see them sitting there for 5 hours, non-stop. These parliamentarians sometimes sit there all the way into midnight.
It depends on the urgency and the situation at hand or the subject matter at hand. It can even require them to sit for 10 hours if they need be. And the Parliament of Ghana, if they want to sit for 10 hours, can't they have breaks? Can't they have coffee breaks and go and walk around somewhere and come back and come and sit? Have you all not been in classrooms before that when the teacher realized that you are tired or the lecturer realized that you are tired, they ask everybody to walk, jump around?
But the British Parliament, again, you refer to. And guys, maybe you can help us bring some image of the British Parliament. You see some members of Parliament in the British Parliament standing. And that's not what you want our members.
That is why I'm saying to you.
I so you've seen instances like that.
I'm saying to you that
when the full house, when you have the opposition leader and the prime minister doing debate, you see MPs standing at the house.
Respectfully.
And you don't want that to happen in Parliament.
Are the parliamentarians not always tell us to manage, adjust, it will be better, keep surviving, no matter how bad it is? Have they not been admonishing us to do that? So the fact of the matter is that when the country has so many priority areas to identify or priority areas to fix what the challenges are over there, why should they be thinking about their comfort? That is my crux of the issue. They shouldn't be thinking about their comfort when we are all suffering as a group of people. Because they are representing their constituents. Their constituents are living in abject poverty. They are in so much poverty. There is nothing happening in most of the constituency. But the MP who represent them want to sit comfortably in Parliament.
But if you don't give him some peace of mind to be able to do...
Now we have even given them offices. In the past, they never had offices. Thank God to Professor Mills. They have gotten offices that they operate from. The Job 600, is Job 600 not fully functioning? It is functioning. So what exactly is the MP trying to tell us? That the place is not comfortable enough for them and they need bigger space? Look at the chair they are sitting on. Even there are some CEOs don't sit on this caliber of chairs.
Really?
Of course. Of course. So I'm telling you that we absolutely not need a chamber. Constructing a new chamber at what cost? $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Now you see Ghana Water Company MD appealing to private corporate companies seeking for 300 million support to augment their working capacity. And as a country, which one is our topmost priority? Is it the water we drink or our MP sitting in comfort in Parliament? So tell me. So if you can have money to construct a new Parliament House, I am not saying that, assuming we were still operating from the old Parliament House close to the Supreme Court area, the courts there. Then now we move from there into this chamber. And the chamber here is big enough. And even though
the seats keep increasing, like it was from we've moved, now we are 275.
That is what I'm saying. That off camera, we don't need more constituency. We need more assemblies. Local governance should be more decentralized at the local level. We need many more assemblymen, because assemblymen has to be empowered. How many assemblymen have we even given a pickup truck to operate in this country? Have we ever given an assemblyman a pickup before? But when we bring an MP, you give him a pickup, you give him a Land Cruiser, you give him accommodation, you give him all the other expenditures that he needs to incur. You take care of him. You treat him like a baby. But an assemblyman who works directly with the people on the ground, courtesy of John Dramani Mahama, is not paying them something. Hitherto, have they ever been paid 500 Ghana cedi before per month? You see, so don't be creating the impression that some are better than the rest. An MP and an assembly member, what is the difference? What is the difference?
Constitutionally, their functions are different.
That is why I'm saying that they are only be respected because we have decided to disrespect the assemblymen. We have decided to create the impression that assemblymen are not that important as the MP. But can the MP alone work without the activities of the assemblyman? The MP is sitting in Accra, but the assemblyman is with the people, is with the constituents.
The MPs visit the constituents.
The MPs visit the constituents
sometimes week after week.
Periodically. So when an issue happens, most often, sometimes they say somebody has fallen in the gutter or has fallen in a well. That the MP goes there, or it is the assemblyman who they are called to go there immediately. Who gets called? She said, when we're happening,
of course, understandably, the first point of call is assemblyman.
Yes, when the accident happened, when the tragedy happened, that we lost those are gallant men. Who was the first person to be called? The assemblyman, not the MP. And an assemblyman who mobilized for them to go there. So to me, the role of the assembly member is much more important than the role of a member of parliament.
That is a very wild statement.
I am telling you in all sincerity. That
because the functions, because you talk about a member of parliament, he's not just a member of parliament, he's part of the second arm of government, the legislature. You know the functions of the legislature in the parliament, in the Constitution of Ghana. You know the functions of the legislature in the Constitution of Ghana. They make laws for the governance of this country, and you say that the MP is less important compared to the assembly.
The law emanates from the people, isn't it? The law, justice emanates from the people, not from the member of parliament. The member of parliament is only a representative of the people. He represents the people. But I'm telling you that the real people who deals with the constituents, who are with the constituents day in, day out, who understand the needs of the people, is obviously the member of parliament. So I'm of the view that, I say the assembly member. So we are of the view that strengthen the assembly structure of our local governance system. Because the MP is also part of the local governance architecture, the decentralization of our local government architecture. That's where the MP comes in to represent them in parliament. So when they are passing laws, you are there to represent your constituent. But the day-to-day running of the constituency, day-to-day running of our communities and society depends largely on the assemblymen.
So you think the request for a new chamber
is a misplaced priority, to simply put.
No, what do you make of all that?
Musbao, first of all...
Because it's not the first time it has come up.
First of all, Speaker suggested that...
He said Ghanaians should brace their mind.
So he's just...
he's psyching the people of Ghana that
it doesn't mean
ready.
It doesn't mean that that's the direction that the government wants to follow.
But it seems to suggest that they need a new parliament.
So I'm stating clearly, first of all, that this is a suggestion by the Speaker that we should base our mind to having another parliament. So that's a suggestion. It's not a direction...
You don't think government will support it?
It's not the direction of the current government. I don't think the NDC, John Dramani Mahama government, who within the 4-year period under the reset agenda is going to build a new chamber for parliament, because there are pressing needs that we need to attend to. There are a lot of things we said in our manifesto. There are a lot of things in Ghana that needs to be reset. You look at most of the new regions that were created, they do not have regional capitals. Just recently, with the school placement issue, we've had issues with grade A, grade B, grade C schools. We are looking at a way where we upgrade most of the grade B and schools to grade A, so that at least every region will have at least 3 grade A schools over there. We are looking at ways of also expanding the road network that leads our major cities as well. We are looking at also completing most of the projects started by the previous government. Government is a continuous process. So at this particular point in time, we don't think that the John Dramani Mahama administration will look at building a new chamber. And then as well, what is the need, what is the function of a parliamentarian? A parliamentarian is just represented. Ideally, all Ghanaians should be seated in Parliament House to be taking decisions and making laws of 8 years and above. But we all cannot go there. So we need representatives from our various constituencies to sit in Parliament, then speak on our behalf and make laws on our behalf. Truly, as a politician, honestly as a politician, from the constituency I come from, Lejokuku, the constituency is so big. You know, all the way from Accra Mall to Palace Mall to the Tertiary Police Station to somewhere across the motorway. You look at the Spintex Ecobank. That is the
boundaries of the
it's too big. And there is something you had lots of complaints from people around Regimanuel, Manette, Okwego, not complaining that they don't see the member of parliament. But I believe that that is why they give parliamentary recess, so that they go and interact with their constituents, brief them on the happenings in parliament, take their concerns, explain to them, and then they come back and then express the views of the constituents that they represent. But if you want development, Okay, development is not really done by the members of parliament. We need to strengthen our local governance system, the decentralization, so that we will be able to get a lot of development. Either we increase the number of the assembly men and then empower them, or let's say like Leje Kuku, the way it's been, we can have Leje Kuku Municipal Assembly like Lekma North, Lekma South. So you can have maybe 2 municipal MCs there. So one MC takes care of the Lekma North, one takes care of Lekma South, or East or West, and then there are assemblymen under them, so that they also get some of the common fund that will come to them, and then they can use it for development over there. But saying that we need to increase, and if it's about space in parliament, and he gets a good designer, okay, he gets a good designer, they can even rearrange the seats over there. We can accommodate even 20 more seats. If
they can reconfigure that space.
Reconfigure. If you looking at the picture of Ghanaian parliament, the Ghana's parliament, you see that the tables they use are too big, and then the spacing is too big. Look at most of our developed countries. And if we say that we need a new parliament today, I can tell you that Musbaum, in the next 20 years or the next 30 years, we'll come back that we need another chamber of parliament again, because the population keeps increasing, and when it keeps increasing, and we say that every time that we need to divide constituencies to get
we need to make up space then.
Yeah, we need to make up space, and that is not the way to go as a country. There are pressing needs, and this is just a suggestion. Ghanaians listening, this is just a suggestion that the speaker made on the floor. That is not.
But I think it's a very serious.
That's not the direction of
subject for parliament.
He's the head of parliament.
Yes,
and then he's saying that.
And if he's saying it, it tells you that it's a serious concern for them.
So maybe in the next 30 years they are looking at something like that, or we should start raising our heads, or the next 40 years. But it's not something that's happening under the research agenda under John Dramani Mahama. Well,
Mr. Issa Hussaini has joined us. He's Western Regional Communications Director of the MPP. Good to have you. Good morning, and I hope you're doing well. You just saw us, having a little bit of chat on speaker, telling Ghanaians to brace themselves for a new chamber with Parliament resuming today. It's interesting. All of them says no.
Let me use this opportunity to greet the good people of Western Region. Then I extend my greeting to the former Vice President, who is in the Bono region right now. And then the party leadership at the national headquarters.
Thank you, Mama, for visiting. He just left.
He just left. So that's not my duty to do that, so you can do that for his behalf. I've listened to the conversation, which is about having a bicameral legislature. When we talk of bicameral legislature, we talk about the lower chamber.
I mean, in fact, the request by the Speaker is the current Parliament House, they want to build a new one. Not even another chamber of parliament.
Oh, okay.
We want to raise it down and build a new one, like it came up during Speaker Michael Quato.
I think that particular building was built purposely for something. Now we have it. To me, if you ask me, if we have the financial muscle, if we think we can afford, that suggestion is not a bad suggestion. The reason is that, looking at the numbers that we have in Parliament today, if you go and look at the numbers, even though we have other parliaments, when you look at them, they sit like a very big hall, like what do you call it, auditorium. They build it like auditorium. Then we have the speaker sitting down, then the others will sit like a sports stadium. That's where some people have built their how they build their Parliament House. But this is a very nice design. But inside, I feel it's very crowded. Yes. Just look at how they manage their sittings. If you are sitting like this, somebody has to pass behind you, the person has to struggle.
Yes, some of them even sit behind pillars.
Yes.
And they can't catch the eye of the
very
speaker.
crowded. And even as I'm talking today, there are some constituencies, like my brother rightly said, some constituencies that we are contemplating that those constituencies should be divided. And today we are having about 276 constituencies in Ghana. And we still believe, to me, if you come to my constituency or to my region, there are some constituencies that I suggested earlier on that those constituencies should be divided. A constituency like Takwang Swaim, look at it. If you know Takwang Swaim very well and you have to go around the constituency, you can take more than 2 weeks to visit every community in the Takwang Swaim. So if you are a member of parliament and you want to do let's say you want to tour your constituency, you have to devote like 2 weeks consistently. to be able to tour the whole constituency. We have a constituency like Prestia Hone Valley being divided. We have the Hone Valley side, we have the Prestia side. And then Bugosu is in the center. When you want to visit that, you sometimes you travel more than 4 hours to get to a community. 4 hours drive before you get to a community.
So you think, I mean, I get the point you're making. There are some constituencies that need to be divided.
Exactly.
And if that happens,
we will not get space. We will not get,
But you also make the point about, instead of creating more constituencies, then create more district assemblies to take care of these people.
No, the district assemblies have been, we've created more district assemblies than ever before. We've created, that is the main reason why we even decided to create more regions. The 6 regions, in addition to the 10 regions, was created because of the vast land that we have, and then the inability to develop the region to the extent that the people of the region will fill the development. So we decided that the other people, or Western North like this, decided that they request for a new region for them. They were separated. My brother said they don't have regional capital. They have regional capital. The Western North regional capital.
Yeah, I think he was making reference to some regional offices.
Regional offices, there is no any region that they haven't established a regional office.
No, regional office is not.
No, I didn't say. I was talking about hospitals. I didn't talk about regional capital.
Okay, regional hospitals.
I'm saying some of the new regions do not have regional hospitals.
Okay. So if you're talking about, then it was a slip of tongue because you said don't have regional capital.
Yeah, he said he was.
So if it's regional hospitals, I agree with you. Some of them, and that's the main reason why even the regional hospitals that you talked about, they generated the Agenda 111 project. You remember that those projects? Because they wanted to have every region fill the developmental projects that we have.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at the chamber that we are talking, if you create more consensus in addition with what we have today, and you look at the space left, the leadership in front, they keep shifting, going closer. So now you get to the parliament floor, the leadership of NDC, the leadership of MPP, they sit there and they are very close to each other. They can't shift anymore. So to me, the design is good. If we can expand and build a very big one that can contain more people and very spacious, so that even if students want to go and observe proceedings on the floor of parliament, they will be able to go and do that. So how many people, now if you're a student, you want to go and pay visit to parliament, you have to book ahead of time because the space is not enough to contain even two schools. So yes, but we need to have that space.
Great. Now I want us to turn attention to our Wednesday series, Dear Mahama, Stop Galamsey series that we've been running. We've got today's is very brief, so we're going to get that very shortly now, and then we'll revisit the conversation from Parliament, because even from Parliament, Fenyo Markin also lashed out at government for what he described as failing in the fight against Galamsey. So let's take that, our letter to the President today.
Two months ago, the Kwenyaku headworks was shut down, as at September 2025, turbidity levels had soared to 94,800 NTU, nearly 190 times the safe level. The closure left 10 districts in the central region without water. Today, health workers fear a looming outbreak of waterborne diseases.
At times, we have to let them, instead of them to have a start dose here, we ask them to take it at home because there is no water.
Maureen Eje Dansoa is the nurse in charge at the Kwesichukrom Chips compound in the Agona East District. These days, her hardest task is not treating the sick. It is finding water to keep the clinic running.
It's been very difficult. There is a nearby town. That's where we get our source of water. Because it's a borehole, it's free, but you have to pay for the motor, TNT. So actually, they will take at least 20 cedis. So if you have 1 gallon, it means you are paying 1 gallon for 20 Ghana cedis. So it means if the person is going for maybe 2 or 3, more than 3 times, it means you are paying 60 Ghana cedis. And it's been very difficult. Yeah.
With the facility's borehole broken, Maureen must trek to nearby towns with gallons or pay motorcycle riders, draining her own salary to keep the clinic open.
Yes, from my own pockets. Yes, please, from my own pockets. Nobody's paying.
The entire Kwesichu Chrome community now depends on the Offa Pond, a dark, stagnant pool of water shared with animals. For hundreds of families, this pond is their only lifeline. Maureen fears that this same water, polluted and smelly, could soon turn their daily struggles into a full-blown health crisis. Already, she says cases are appearing.
Definitely, there's going to be an outbreak of cholera. After maybe the case has been resolved, there's going to be an outbreak of cholera. Yeah. And it has even started. I think last week we have diarrhea cases. Yeah. My back of water is 8 cedis. They can't afford it. So the water they fetch from the streams and the bowl, that's what they have been taking. Yeah. So it's going to have a huge impact on after the case is being resolved. Yeah.
Well, cheap compound. Osanke insuo ho. Obotu nsumaya esanke isani nano nsu na say entienyesu oyarfo bi kra beda ho a this ekoto pure water and as we say that man.
Oh, we can say we are pleading. We are pleading. At least if NGO or government, they should come to our aid.
Just a few kilometers away in Nyakrum, in the Agona West municipality, the story is no different. Here, residents now draw their water from the Accra River, dark tea colored, polluted, and contaminated by human activities.
I hide Kwanyako na ye depend. But Zizia na galamse for ye. What sense no way tiffy. And just a galamse fight no. Why you want sir Ghana water. And they no say Eba say what the Sikaba mo way in sooner. Ebe fine. I'm still one jay or honti. They be and just a Sikamo, I change you no more. And they are buying just what you don't say or Kutia galamse no way tiffy.
At the Nyakrum Health Center, Senior Physician Assistant and Head of the facility, Florence Mavis Odom, confronts the human cause of the water crisis. Her facility's borehole still runs, but the community's dependence on the polluted Accra River is now reflected in her case files.
Roughly in a month, we can say that about 10, 15, 20, depends. Yeah, once a while the typhoid, they report.
Florence warns that poor sanitation and unsafe water are making the people sick.
The water issue, because now the river, how it's being handled. You know, people go in, throw dust, rubbish and other things, dump rubbish, other pieces and other things. So I think last week, due to this, the assembly and then the municipal health directorates came around to distribute aquatap to purify the water that they use. It's not easy. We headed far, but today is just close to us and see what we are just facing today. So it still boils down to the government looking at it. If there are ways of getting rid of it totally, because I think people tried and they've lost their lives, but we still have to work at it, else Ghana will be in a great mess.
Health centers are surviving on sachet water, while communities drink from polluted rivers. In Kwesichu Chrome and Nyakrum, the fear of a full-blown health crisis grew more intense each day. Cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea are no longer distant threats. They are knocking at doors. If this is not an emergency, Mr. President, what is it? Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Central.
That's it from our end to the presidency as far as the fight against Gallup. But it also came up in the floor of Parliament. And of course, let's just listen to the minority leader again. And is I don't know, we don't know what to call it, politicization or what, but he's been lashing at our government that they are failing in the fight against Galamsey, and he's also calling for drastic measures in the fight. So guys, if Afenyo Makin on Galamsey is ready, we can listen to him briefly, and then we'll come back to studio and talk about these issues.
On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority, are of the view that this represents one of Ghana's gravest governance challenges that has persisted across successive governments and which has escalated into a full-blown national crisis is the menace of illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. The devastation caused by Galamsey to our environment, water bodies, and public health cannot be overstated. Even as we convene today, Mr. Speaker, our rivers run brown with pollution. Vast tracts of once fertile land lies carried and toxic, and many of our citizens in mining communities face illness and danger from poisonous chemicals. We have talked about illegal mining for years, yet the problem has only grown worse. Time for mere talk is over. We need decisive, visionary action now to save our country's future from disaster. On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority.
So that's the minority leader, Afenyo Makin, on that very subject. Well, let's try and divide the time well so that we can all explore these issues. Hopefully we can do 2 minutes take on this one, and then we'll see how many rounds we can do. So let's see that. So let me start with you, Mr. Hussaini. 2 minutes on this one. I mean, you've seen, let me not...
your time 2 minutes there is...
so we can do a little more. We can do a little more.
Yes. You see, the Galamsey issue, the reason why we are pressing iron on the back of NDC to stop the Galamsey is as a result of their own promises that they made to the Ghanaian people. You remember the promise that they made to Ghanaians, so many promises, telling the Ghanaian people that Galamsey is not anything that is very difficult to fight. They told Ghanaians that you can take 1 week to stop Galamsey. They should give them the power. Whilst they were promising all this, and they knew the president himself, he himself was in power before, first term. He's aware the way Galamsey fight looks like. Yet they choose to go to town with propaganda, tell Ghanaians that it's very easy fighting Galamsey. The only thing you need to do is to declare state of emergency. And the only thing that you need to do is to go after the kingpins, seize their excavators, burn them, and then chase them out of sight. That's the best way to do. The last thing they also promised was to go to Parliament, repeal the LI 2462, and then chase the people out of. But they've forgotten that the LI 2462 is not absolute. That when because the LI is there, you can just go to the forest and start doing mining, not knowing that it's subjected to approval of the president. The president needs to approve if it's necessary. But they told Ghanaians that we passed the LI 2462 to enable people to go into the forest and then destroy the forest. And therefore, they will repeal it, abolish it outright, make sure that state of emergency is in place, go after the kingpins, make sure that Galamsey is the thing of the past. They can do that within a week.
They have blue water guards. They've got nine more.
You see, they didn't promise.
They are prosecuting.
They didn't promise the good people of Ghana.
You think all of this?
No, they didn't promise the good people. They didn't promise the good people of Ghana that they were coming to repeat what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done. They said what the measures that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is putting in place, they are crude measures that cannot solve the problem, and they have better solution to the problem.
You think the solutions they are offering now is no...
What are the solutions? The water gas they are talking about. Didn't Nana Akufo-Addo recruit water gas? The excavators that they are burning, they are burning in the bush. Didn't Nana Akufo-Addo burn excavators? Didn't Nana Akufo-Addo set up a team to go and fight Galamsey, the illegal mining, like Operation Galam Stop, the Operation, what do you call it? So many teams. Were they able to stop the Galamsey?
But they said all of those things you did were not effective.
You see, if they were not effective, that is the reason why this government promised that they were going to introduce new policies. And Ghanaians listened to them. They knew that the government will be able to do that. When they came to government, when they came to power, they are repeating what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done. And what Nana Akufo-Addo has done he got to realize that these were not going to produce a result. And the new channel that the old or the previous administration introduced was to bring in something we call community mining. Look, those who even did a research on Galamsey side came out to tell us that about 4 million people are benefiting from Galamsey. And the 4 million people, if you want to chase all of them home without jobs, it's a national security threat in these countries. What Nana Akufo-Addo did was that let's establish what we call community mining. The community mining, we can process or we can monitor for them to do proper mining. And those people will still be engaged in mining, but they will not destroy our water bodies and forests.
So you think government has not done enough up to this point in the fight against Galamsey?
If he's doing enough, you have just shown us a video. That will prove to the Ghanaian people who are watching, will now determine whether the government is fighting Galamsey or he's not fighting. Because the Kunyaku water treatment plant that has been shut down, denying about 10 communities or 10 districts in central region the livelihood, water, imposing them, the danger involved. They are all aware of all these things. So,
let me come to Richard.
If Afenyo Mark is on the floor of Parliament, pressing the neck of the government to stop Galamsey, he's not. Look, when I was coming, I was listening to one of your sister stations. The media themselves were condemning Afenyo Mark for saying that the government should stop Galamsey. That when the government was in power, when our government was in power, we were unable to stop Galamsey. Why is he fighting that this government should stop Galamsey? So now, if you are telling Afenyo Mark to stop talking because his government failed to do it, why is it that Ghanaians voted the new government, the previous government out, and bring in a new government who has a solution to it? And you are telling me 10 months down the lane, we shouldn't hold them accountable for what they said when they were in opposition.
Let me come to Richard. Unity Party. What's your position on all of this?
Sincerely, I'm so...
Are you impressed? Maybe let me just make it a bit more direct. Are you impressed with what government has done so far?
Well, you see, the government is doing the same thing like the previous one did. They are just trying to recycle it and repackage it and present it to us to look very good to the gallery. So, you see, it is about, look at the video you have just shown us. Look at the kind of water your people are drinking. Look at the society that we have to build. Is that the way forward? I feel so flabbergasted this morning watching such a video, people drinking this kind of water, and we are still talking about the blame game syndrome. NPP is blaming NDC, NDC is blaming NPP, that you didn't do better, you promised you're going to fight and win the war against Galamsey. But you see, the president of the day, like we all know, John Dramani Mahama, he is a man who, when he says something that he wants to do it, obviously he had the intent to get it done. But then again, he's sitting at the Jubilee House alone. He cannot win the war against Galamsey. The fight against Galamsey has to be collective, all hands on deck. And then again, I also ask that the chiefs should be brought on board. And then again, if the chiefs are not supported enough, they are not equipped enough, they are not resourced enough, you cannot win this war against Galamsey. Because I say about consistency and sustenance. NIMOS can go somewhere, clear the people from there, recapture some forest, but what is the backup plan? Are they leaving some people behind to monitor and ensure that nobody encroaches on that territory again? Obviously, no. They go and burn the chamfas, then they move away, then the people turn around and come back. He said the Galamsey ecosystem has over 4 million people, women, children. Today, I saw a video of 6 years, 7 years old kids who are really involved in Galamsey. So I am still of the view that we cannot win the war against Galamsey with this kind of approach, sincerely. Because you see, the challenge is that even if you are destroying the forest, you are not bringing it down to the rivers, and we are destroying the forest. Yes, I can understand that at that level, we can't be able to reclaim the forest by going for afforestation and all these things. But the chamfans that are seated on the rivers, seated there and destroying it with impunity, they are the people that we need to arrest them. I keep saying that sometimes when we arrest these people and we find out that they are actually involved, forget about human rights. Parade them, bring them, arrest them, bring them all to Accra, assemble them at the Independence Square, and let's give them some couple of lashes.
Interesting. Will you do the lashes yourself? Will you offer to do the lashes yourself?
Of course.
Interesting.
Of course.
Metal, your government is under heat. A lot of heat. As far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned.
Yeah, we are at the helm of affairs, so I understand the heat that is coming on us. We take them in good faith. 9 months down the line, I think that this government has done well in the fight against Galamsey. 9 months down the line, we can see that this time we find people, financiers, people actually financing people who are engaged in illegal mining being prosecuted. 9 months down the line, we find forest reserves that we could not enter previously, that had been overtaken by illegal miners. We have recovered 9 of those forest reserves. 9 months down the line, the turbidity level in some places that had high turbidity level have reduced. I have the figures here, but because of time, I'll not go into it. 9 months down the line, we find that communities that were engaged in, were built to support illegal mining have been destroyed. We find excavators being seized. 9 months down the line, we find that anybody who imports excavator into this country, which was never done before, which is not a repetition of any government that has done, you will have to register them and then we track them. 9 months down the line, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, okay, under the Minerals Commission, they have established an AI technology to be able to help fight illegal mining. If you're issued with the licenses, okay, your excavators are tracked, and then within a particular space, you cannot go beyond.
So you're satisfied?
So I'm not satisfied, but I'm saying that 9 months down the line.
You think so far government has done well?
Very good. 9 months down the line, government has done well in the fight against Galamsey, but there's more to be done to be able to bring it down to its minimal level.
Because you see the situation in Kenyakrom, as we saw.
I'm coming there to the issues of water. But I just wanted to start by establishing the fact that 9 months down the line, unlike the previous government where there was no political will, 9 months down the line, there are things that have been done differently. We have gone at financiers that have been prosecuted. We've given alternative livelihood support to the people, where the people who engage in the illegal mining activities are now being registered into cooperatives, and things that have been done differently now is the registration of the excavators at the port. It's never been done anywhere. The recovery of the 9
and that's why all of this, the
recovery of the 9 forest reserves are things that have not been done anywhere. But you see, when you go to places like Volta region, okay, where you don't find any trace of illegal mining there, we still have issues of water, where people don't get access to potable drinking water. Beyond Galamsey, we have a general problem as a nation. A problem as a nation that we don't have access to good drinking water across the...
and Galamsey has clearly worsened it.
Yes, across the entire region. Before Galamsey, we had issues with water. Regions where there are no Galamsey, there are issues with people drinking good pipe-borne water.
Yeah, but it doesn't excuse the fact that some people do not have water because
some people are fetching water from the streams and then all that. It's a question that we sometimes have to also look at the kind of technology Ghana Water is using. Do we need to pump more money, invest in them? That they also get modern equipment that they use to filter water. Most of these water treatment plants, if you look at when they were built and the technologies they're using there, are outdated. I don't also rule out the fact that Galamsey and the pollution of the water bodies is also a contributing factor because it pollutes the water bodies so much. But generally, if you look at it holistically as a Ghanaian at this particular point in time, I'm pointing out to the fact that there are regions where illegal mining does not take place there, but however, you find people fetching water from streams and rivers where they do not have even, how do they call it, the water...
Mechanized boreholes.
Yeah, mechanized boreholes and then all that. So there's a department, Rural Water something, that is headed by Kwagbenu, Vincent Kwagbenu, former National Service Boss. There's a department. They should look at these things and ensure, even in Accra, there are communities in Accra that do not have access to good drinking water. You go to Sakumono, okay, there's issue of water shortage over there.
So we appreciate the fact that there's a general...
So I'm saying beyond Galamsey, this is an issue that we need to look at.
Because
when it comes to
already we are dealing with difficulty in accessing potable water. Then we have Galamsey, which is even worse than the situation.
So we cannot attribute all the
water crisis.
Fair enough.
But the areas where
we cannot. It's important that I strongly establish here on this platform that the government in 9 months have done a lot in the fight against galamsey. And we've seen political will.
What is the results?
And I've shown you results.
But
that we've recovered 9 forest reserves.
Is that a
levels have reduced?
You have just watched the video. That
excavators.
The whole thing
But there are places where
you have talked.
There are places where
let me read something. I just want to ask me a simple question.
Don't ask me a question. He asked me a question. You don't ask me a question.
This simple question.
He asked me a question.
What he's saying, if it's true, go and check the port today. 200 excavators are being imported into this country every day. Every day.
And you don't leave the port.
Every day.
You don't leave the port without being registered.
And you are telling me,
and you don't leave the port.
All that he says that the government has chalked success within this particular 9 months. What is the end resource? Are people getting water to drink? Is the water body that we are talking about, the water bodies that we are talking about, are they clean? Is the forestry that they are talking about, have they stopped depleting the forest?
Let me read some messages. Let me read some messages. It says, we are good morning. This is not the message, guys. If you can start from 6:56 here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning. This is Ganu from Mankerigu from Savannah region. Dr. Bawumia, your sacrifice will not go in vain, he says. The future remembers you. Ghana honors you and destiny awaits you. Wasn't this the very idea that faced heavy criticism, talking about the new chamber when it was proposed under Akufo-Addo? Instead, why not reduce the number of constituencies to cut down the numbers? We should stop deluding ourselves about this government commitment to fighting galamsey. Whatever actions they seem to be taking against the menace are cosmetic at best, for there is no real intent to deal with illegal mining on the part of this administration. Can a government that claims to be against illegal mining also form a pact with Chinese government in an agreement named Ghana-China Mining, and still go about boasting about fighting galamsey? Who are the real experts in galamsey? The Chinese, he says. These are the people plundering your resources, destroying our lands, polluting our water bodies, and causing irreparable damage to our environment. Okay. Good morning, Zach and the panelists. I'm Big Alasko from Garu Tempani, and my greetings to all the youth in Tempani constituency and also to the DCE, Joseph Mbila. We, the people of Garu and its environs, are living with fear for what just happened 3 days ago. We hope that calm will be restored to the area. Good morning. Please tell the NDC man to his fear as him. He should not panic over the fire burning in the MPP, but rather get some water ready to quench that which is coming to the NDC. He should not forget that this is going to be the first time the NDC is going to have a contest. We are watching. Kelvin Kofi, Guy. He says. That was when we were talking about the general secretary positions and all the others. Alhaji Hamza Pikfam. Good morning, my brother. In my humble opinion, the meeting that was held by former President Akufo-Addo and the 5 aspirants in his house for peace building is much ado about nothing. What is happening in NPP today can only be blamed on the doorsteps of the former president. He is the cause of all the problems in NPP today. What we need to know and hear from the aspirants has already been said, and it will be used against them in 2028 elections. Even yesterday, we were told the NPP lost the 2020 elections because Dr. Brian Champong, as the agri minister, refused to release fertilizers to farmers to farm. The main aim was target against Dr. Bawumia. And according to Brian Champong, Dr. Bawumia failed to manage the economy, which was what he was brought to solve. Akonsi Gariba from Tamale says, good morning, Ms. Bao. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has shown leadership by bringing the MPP flag bearers to strengthen the unity in the MPP party. Those naysayers are unhappy to hear that the 5 contestants of the flag bearership came together for a breakfast, not dinner, in President Nanado's house. Why is it that the NDC and Mr. Alan people are quick to attack Dr. Bawumia at the least opportunity they get? Sumah, they're asking you, if an objective mind, nobody will tell you that Bawumia is going to win the MPP presidential primary. And they can't do much about his leadership. You did not come early. Well, from Gastiman Brekum, tell Richard that a political party is not a family tree. Ghanaians don't care about who has been there for ages. What we care about is competent. No one should ever think because there's division, it means the party has collapsed. In spite of the division of the NDC during the Fonka time, they were able to capture power. So no one should be happy and celebrating that the MPP is going through this period. Alan can form 10 political parties. No one cares, he says. Greetings to Roger Asari Tando, the Regional Security Coordinating and Western North Regional Minister, Honorable Wilbert Petty Brentum. Ghana's parliament resumes its crucial role in shaping the nation's future as esteemed members return to debate serious issues. Go on to talk about a few others. He said lawmakers are urged to champion transparency, and then on and on. This one says, good morning. The UP guy, is he part of NDC communicators? He always speaks in favor of the government.
Never really said in favor of the
government. Maybe as you listen to him, you heard him.
Yeah. Selective, you know. They pick and choose what they want to comment on.
In fact, politicians, I think they shouldn't make it to heaven. Hey, why should you press on the neck of somebody to declare a state of emergency and try to swerve declaring it when you know when you now have all the powers to declare? And he did not add his name. He said anonymous. Interesting. Anyway, well, we have to be wrapping up. Our time is far gone now. And just final messages. Briefly, let's wrap it up, guys. Final 1 minute. 1 minute. Let me start you too. I'm sure you want to say something to Ghanaians about BOST or something. 1 minute. Let's go.
Yeah, 1 minute. I can assure the people of Ghana that this John Mahama government is committed in fighting Galamsey. Once again, I'll say special greetings to the board chairman of BOST Energies, Professor Saint Kutu, the managing director of BOST Energies, Afechi Awuno, and the able deputy Adwasewa Bonzi, and the direction that they are leading BOST to. We are telling Ghanaians, and I assure you that your energy is secured for between 6 and 12 weeks. You have the energy cover.
We are looking forward to hosting your boss sometime.
That's no problem. Just let me know, and then he'll be.
We'll look for that. Yeah, Sumah, 1 minute.
What I can say in my 1 minute is that I want to let the people of God and the country understand that the new united party that has been formed is here to stay. We are not here because we want to create panic or we want to create some kind of de-organization within another political opposition. We are here to contribute to the political ecosystem. We are here to make a difference, and we are here to stay. As for politics, people telling us that, oh, nobody has ever won election from a breakaway party and here and there. I want to let them understand it is God that touches the heart and mind of people. So if people believe in you and they believe that you are presenting something that makes significant sense to them, they can align with you. So we are calling on everybody not to write us off, not to create the impression that, oh, we can never get anywhere. Because Ghana is just a 32-year-old democracy. People still have the tendency to change. They have the tendency to shoot in whatever they believed in. So as a country, we need to have a common front. Politics is about competition. So don't think that because it is NPP, it is NDC, you cannot write us off. Because when we do our work well and we do our homework well, it is the people of God and country who will decide that, look, we want a new political party to associate ourselves with. And we believe that our chances are quite good and the future will be the one to determine whether we succeed or we fail.
Yes. The Galamsey issue, my brother, the results is what we just showed. So they don't have anything to achieve apart from the results that we are seeing today. So they to make the water bodies improve. But I want you to draw your mind to one thing on YEA. It's very important. I will submit some of the documents to you. There are some staffs in YEA who has not been paid for so many months now. And the director or the CEO is refusing to listen to them. They are still working, and they are not being paid for about 9 months or 10 months.
Well, let's follow up on that.
So I'll give you the necessary documents so that you can follow up to rescue those people, because you are the only people who can speak for them.
We'll follow up on that.
So it's very important.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
I thought you talk about PMMC.
Very big thank you to Royal King Cracker. Thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise also.